We have 5 business segments at KMP. As I said, the largest, natural gas pipelines at 38%. About 60% of that is interstate, FERC-regulated pipelines. About 40% is intrastate, kind of midstream businesses. About 15% of our business is products pipelines. Products pipelines, we transport gasoline, diesel, jet fuel. There we get paid a tariff based on the volumes transported. Those fees are fixed and they escalate every year at PPI plus 2.65%. CO2 is about 27% of our overall business. As you can see on the screen, the pie chart separated. The green piece is separated into 2 pieces. About 7% of our overall KMP and about 27% of the CO2 business is associated with sales and transport. That's where we are producing the CO2 primarily in southwest Colorado. We are transporting it down our pipeline for a fee and selling it to customers in the Permian Basin who are injecting it into oil fields to help produce oil. CO2, for those of you who don't know, is used for tertiary oil recovery. My simple example is when you do primary production, you poke a hole in the field, the reservoir is under pressure, here comes the oil. Over time, that pressure subsides. People then use water to create pressure downhole and push the oil out. CO2 is more of a finesse method. It is miscible with oil at certain pressures. And so think about cleaning your paintbrush with turpentine. It kind of sweeps through the reservoir and you follow with water to pull the oil out. And so we're selling CO2 to customers to use in their production activities. About 20% of KMP's business, about 70% of the CO2 segment is actually oil production, where we're using our own CO2 supply to produce oil. As you can see, that's not a business that's traditionally owned in an MLP. It's a niche business. We got into it as a result of our ownership of the CO2 supply and Shell's team, who came over to Kinder Morgan in early 2000s. And who had to teach their customers how to use the CO2 supply. And so we were just capitalizing on that expertise. We aggressively hedge our oil production so that we can mitigate any short-term or medium-term exposure to oil prices there. And you can see, our hedge profile going out. We're over 60% hedged at this point for 2013, over 50% for 14, and over 25% for 15. Our terminals business, about 16% of our overall business. About 55% of that's liquids business, where we're storing gasoline, diesel, jet fuel in big tanks. People pay us a reservation charge, so they pay us to keep that tank. It's not a throughput basis, and so it's kind of like office space or real estate. You pay whether or not you use it. So in the short term, we don't care whether or not people are using it. We're still going to get paid. In the long term, you care because you want them to renew those contracts. And then about 45% of our business is bulk business, and here we're handling products like coal, pet coke, steel, storing it for customers, transloading it from one form of transportation like a barge, storing it at our facility, and then it's going outbound on train or other modes of transportation. And then about 4% of our business is Kinder Morgan Canada, which is pipelines serving the oil sands.